Guys, this trace rifle was made for Warlocks. How's it going everyone? I'm Tavius Plays, welcome back to my channel. I'm gonna keep this short because the new exotic trace rifle we got with Season of the Lost just got its catalyst and it's broken, especially for Warlocks. So if you find this video informative and you like to help the channel, don't forget to like and heavy attack that subscribe button so it gets put in front of more people. Now let's get into the video. So Ager's Scepter, the new exotic trace rifle, was released into Destiny 2 and its catalyst started dropping randomly from the new seasonal activity a week after the weapon's release. First, let's go over what the weapon does. Ager's Scepter is a kinetic stasis trace rifle. The intrinsic trait is Ager's Call. Final blows with this weapon generate a slowing burst around the defeated target. This slowing burst will actually freeze most low to mid-level targets. Keep that in mind for later in the video when I go into the Warlock build. I promise it gets so insanely good. Okay, so what are the weapon perks? Riga's Refrain. Stasis final blows transfer ammo to this weapon magazine from reserve, so less reloading. Now into the broken stuff, the catalyst. Ager's Scepter gets a Super Saiyan mode called Will Given Form. When your super is full, double press the reload button to drain super energy, overflowing the magazine and empowering the beam with bonus damage and the ability to slow and freeze targets until the magazine or super energy runs out, or when the weapon is stowed. Can only be activated when super is full. This super mode for Ager's Scepter turns the weapon into a Stasis Chaos Reach Gun. Guys, I tested it against bosses and in the Crucible and it's insane how fast you melt bosses and guardians. You have to try this, not even joking, they might nerf this soon. Now let's get into the Stasis build, but remember, we won't be using our super for anything other than to power up our Ager Scepter. For my aspects, we're going to be using Glacial Harvest to be able to spawn Stasis shards around frozen targets. Bear with me here, Stasis shards are going to be extremely useful. I'm also using Ice Flare bolts to chain my freezes from enemy to enemy, super useful. And the 4 fragments we're equipping are the Whisper of Bonds, defeating frozen targets grants super energy. The Whisper of Fissures increases damage and bursts of stasis when destroying a crystal or a frozen enemy. The Whisper of Hedrons dramatically increases weapon stability, aim assist, mobility, resilience, and recovery after freezing a target with stasis. And the Whisper of Rending. Kinetic weapons do increase damage to stasis crystals and frozen targets. Our Scepter is a kinetic weapon, so you can see our build is now starting to break. We're also going to be using the Glacier Grenade. If you prefer to use Cold Snap or Duskfield, it's totally up to you. I personally just like Glacier to use as cover if I'm under heavy fire and because more ice for me to shatter. Now let's look at my stats before we get into the armor and armor mods. My Intellect is at tier 8 with a cooldown of 4 minutes 14 seconds. Grenade at tier 4 with a 1 minute 50 second cooldown and my melee at a minute 16 second cooldown. Keep in mind that all these cooldowns will go down dramatically, picking up Orbs of Power, Elemental Wells, and Stasis Shards, which we will generate a lot of those with this build. Moving on to the armor and armor mods. My helmet has Intellect, Hands-On for super energy on melee kills, and a Trace Rifle Ammo Finder. Really useful. My arms are my only piece of armor that I have equipped with Stasis Affinity. Reason I needed this Stasis Affinity was to equip the Elemental Well mod Elemental Shards, where Stasis Shards count as Stasis Elemental Wells. This doesn't work in PvP, but very effective in PvE. This mod is from the Wayfinder's Compass. You must reach level 12, I believe it was, to unlock it, but it's well worth it. For the other mods, I have Intellect and Trace Rifle Loader and Auto Rifle Loader for faster reloads. Now for my chest piece, and here's where we break the build even more. If you didn't know it by now, I'm using one of my favorite exotics, the Mantle of Battle Harmony. I have other builds in my channel I've made with this same exact exotic. I'll link it down in the description if you're interested. This chest piece grants me super energy by getting kills with stasis weapons in this case. Also, when your super energy is full, you gain a bonus to weapon damage for a short period while using a stasis weapon. So this chest piece complements Ager's Scepter beautifully. For mods, I have Intellect, Trace Rifle Reserves, a Sniper Rifle Resistance, not essential but I had an extra point to use, and also Elemental Armaments. Weapon takedowns with a damage type that matches your subclass element have an escalating chance to spawn an Elemental Well. For my legs, I have Intellect, Trace Rifle Scavenger, and Innervation, which reduces grenade cooldowns by picking up Orbs of Power. And last for my class item, I only have Intellect and Well of Potency from the Seasonal Artifact. Picking up a matching Elemental Well grants you super energy. We're going to be picking up lots of elemental wells, so this mod is really essential for this build. Now, before we go into the recap of how this build is going to work, I forgot to mention that you can use any weapons you prefer for your energy weapon and your heavy weapon. I chose an auto rifle and the new ritual weapon for this season, the Ascendancy rocket launcher. You could do a sword for heavy or another linear fusion rifle since they are pretty meta right now. Okay, so here we go, rapid fire. The way this is going to work is pretty simple. Ager Scepter is going to do all the work, and you very rarely will run out of ammo since we have ammo finders and extra reserves. In PvE activities, freezing a target and shattering will cause a chain of freezes to enemies nearby, which will reload your weapon from reserves. Ice Flare bolts also help keep the freeze chains going. Kills with Ager Scepter will give you super energy thanks to our exotic chest piece. It will generate elemental wells with the elemental armaments mod and stasis shards with the glacial harvest aspect. And also orbs of power since the weapon is masterworked. The Whisper of Bonds grants super energy by defeating frozen targets. Whisper of Fissures increases the burst when you shatter frozen targets, and the Whisper of Rending grants Ager Scepter increased damage to frozen targets and stasis crystals. Are you seeing how every single aspect in Fragment plus Elemental Well mods make this weapon build extremely overpowered? You will be getting your super extremely fast, and all you have to do is double press the reload button to activate Will Given Form, to turn your weapon into a Stasis Chaos Reach Gun. Now, if you activate Will Given Form and the boss gets melted by a teammate, instead of letting your super drain, you can cancel it by double pressing the reload button a second time and save super energy. Warlock mains, believe me, with this build you don't need any champion mods. Ager Scepter just does the job super quick. There you have it, my friends. I truly believe Bungie might make an adjustment to this weapon because it is extremely good at its current state. Even in PvP, jumping in the Crucible with it was super fun. I really hope you guys found this video informative. If you did, a like and heavy attack on that subscribe button really helps me out. If you want to get in touch with me, my link tree down in the description has all my social medias. I hope you all got your catalyst completed. Have a great week, happy grinding, and if you like to see other informative Destiny 2 videos, you can click right here.